Hello and greetings to you, wherever you may be on planet Earth, the third rock from our sun. My name is Anthony Altman, and this is video number 8 in the self-discovery video series. The title of this video is How I Became a Buddhist in Tibet. Now, this is a very interesting story, to be honest with you, very interesting. And it is a significant past life, excuse me, that I was able to recall. And so here is the story. I was at hypnotherapy school, and I had taken the week module of past life therapy. And during this period, the teacher, Patrick, wonderful guy, very, very well versed in hypnotherapy and NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And he asked for a volunteer to be hypnotized so that he could teach about past life therapy. And of course, I put my hand up before he even finished the sentence. So I was guinea pig number one, and not a very nice thing to say, guinea pig, poor old guinea pigs. I'm sorry, I'm going to retract that. I was the first subject to be tested on. And no sooner had he placed me into, or helped me into a hypnotic trance state, I immediately found myself in Tibet in the middle of a war. Now, I'm going to digress slightly because this video is particularly significant to me because of what happened before, a past life that occurred to me that I was able to recall before. Years ago, before this experience I was having at the hypnotherapy school, I was able to recall a life where I was alive at the time of Buddha in India. I think it was India, it could be Nepal, it probably was India. And Buddha was traveling the country, proselytizing and talking about consciousness and enlightenment and all that. And I was listening, very interested in this particular village. And I didn't have anything to say. But Buddha said to me, this was 2,500 years ago or thereabouts, why don't you come with me, follow me, and I can share more. And I declined his offer. No, I can't do that. And Buddha went off and I never saw him again. And I lived my life in absolute regret that I didn't follow him. That was an opportunity that came to me out of the blue, and I rejected it. And so I lived a full life, really, old age, not very happy. And I died alone, miserable, in regret. 1,200 years later, I was given another opportunity to follow the Buddha. So around about 700, the century 700, the 7th century, the 7th century, which was like 700, year 700, or 600 actually, 7th century. Approximately 1,300, 1,400 years ago. I was in a life, I was relatively affluent, good job, had a few things. And we heard about this new philosophy in India called Buddhism. We heard about the Buddha. And at that time, the religion was Bon Po. It was a religion that included all sorts of grotesque monsters. It was a religion of fear, and it succeeded in controlling the people. But we heard about Buddhism, and there were many of us that wanted to know more about it. And the Bon Po people said, no, 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 you can't have that. And so there was a kind of civil war. And when I was placed into a trance, the me in, I think this was earlier, at the beginning of the year 2004, I think it was, in hypnotherapy school. As soon as I went into trance, I became aware of myself 1,300, 1,400 years ago in the middle of a raging battle in Tibet. There was my dead horse to one side. I had a sword in my hand, and we were fighting the Bon Po people. My contingency, we were fighting the Bon Po people in order to bring Buddhism to Tibet. And so the fight raged on, and I got up out of the seat, even though I was in a trance and I was walking around and being very dramatic, which unfortunately seems to be my predilection. And I heard that they all got a little startled when I started to become active, and I was explaining what I was doing, and I was waving my arm around as if I had a sword in my hand, and it was very dramatic. And we won. We beat the Bon Po into submission, and they retreated. About 6 months later, after we had sent messages and all that, a contingent of about 22 people came walking into our village town from India. I don't remember who it was, but it could have been Avalokiteshvara or something like that, a leading light in Buddhism, to bring Buddhism and show us, teach us. And I became a Buddhist. Oh, excuse me, I'm getting emotional. Brings back such memories. I was there. I had the experience within my consciousness. And that's when I became a Buddhist. And to this day, in this lifetime now, I have a great affinity with Buddhism. I don't follow any religion per se, but Buddhism, I have a great affinity with. It's not a religion, it's a philosophy. There is no mention in their doctrines of God. It's all enlightenment, developing consciousness and potential. And so I was brought out of the hypnotic trance by the teacher so that we could discuss all this. And a lady in the, a fellow student, a lady in the group of students that were observing and witnessing this, she started to cry. Oh, are you all right? What's the problem? And she said, I was one of those 22 people who walked from India to Tibet to teach you Buddhism. Wow, I'm very emotional. Excuse me. We as students, or they as students, I was standing there. There were 22 students other than myself, which is I don't know. Is it significant? To me, it was. And she started to talk about how she remembered through the experience that I was sharing with her. She remembered being in that group of 22 people walking into our village or town or wherever it was, bringing Buddhism to Tibet in the 7th century. These are the experiences that I am sharing with you publicly. Because I haven't done this before. And the reason I'm doing this is to help people realize that there's much more to life than just what we are seeing at the moment. We go to bed at night, we sleep if we can. A lot of people don't because of the trials and tribulations of today. And they wake up in the morning and they have a coffee and they go to work and then they come home and they go to sleep. And that's their life, and have some hobbies. They have a family, the children. That's their life. Nothing else. What about consciousness? What about your human potential? You're using 5% of your mental potential. Under 5% you see of the light spectrum. We are using 4% of our DNA. What about developing our greater potential? Most people don't seem to be interested in that. And these videos I'm doing my best to share that there's much more to life than what we are experiencing in our present day on planet Earth, in this third dimensional reality. And as we develop a little more of our potential, we are able to learn more about our greater selves. Most people don't know who they are. They think they are the body, and they're not. The body is their vehicle, just like they get into a car. Are they the car? No, they are the driver of the car. But without the driver, the car doesn't go anywhere. It's the same thing here. Our driver is our soul, our higher self. And the idea is to get to know that higher self, because that's who you really are. And I hope this video will help stimulate and inspire people to develop a better relationship with their higher self, with their soul, develop more of their innate human potential, their innate consciousness, expand their conscious awareness, expand their greater potential. And as more people are able to do this, even if it's just baby steps, it doesn't matter. A journey of 1,000 miles, 1,000 kilometers, it starts with a single step. And the more people who are doing this, the sooner and the better we will be able to make huge, wonderful, positive changes and possibly build a golden age for humanity. This is my hope. This is my intention. And this is why I do what I do. Thank you for joining me on this road less traveled. Until next time.